really with me in the Zoom today live. This is the interactive portion of the training, and we're doing something a little bit different today. I wanted to share with you. I've recently partnering actually with Restream.io. And this is a platform that allows you to stream like this, a Zoom meeting or any broadcast that you're doing. You can either do it directly through their platform or like I'm doing today on Zoom. And it goes out to multiple platforms at the same time, which is taking it to another level. So today I am broadcasting through Zoom to my Facebook page, to my Facebook group, Cash In on Camera, to my YouTube channel as an event, and also to Periscope, which is associated with Twitter. So after this broadcast, it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting to go back and take a look at those platforms and this broadcast to all of those platforms at the same time. It's happening simultaneously. Woo! It's taking it to another level. And this is just the beginning of my partnership with Restream.io. So if you're interested to know more about it, please just, comment. If you're on Facebook, leave a comment. If you're here on Zoom, let me know in the chat. Sure. Get in touch with me and I'd be happy to send you information on how you can get a discount on Restream.io. The reason why it's powerful is because now it gets your message to multiple platforms through one piece of content, which is really exciting. In fact, I'm so jazzed about this that I actually just decided a few minutes ago when I was getting ready for the training today, I thought, you know what? This is actually going to be my YouTube video topic tomorrow for my YouTube channel. I'm going to walk you through how I set all of this up, because I set this all up really merely in minutes, which is pretty exciting. Maura, question?
Yeah, just a quick point, Cheryl, since this is a new way of sharing. If people go to the top of our screen and on custom live streaming service, there's a drop-down menu. Anybody can copy the streaming link and share it even further for you.
Oh, very good. I'm seeing that now as well as I click, because there's a little arrow there.
Yeah.
So you are all seeing that as well.
If they look for it.
Great. Yes. That's awesome. Good point. So if you copy the streaming link, you can now pop that into a post on social media. So if you are, thank you, Maura, if you have a community of people, and this happens a lot in my community, people who should be doing more video, then that would be a great way to share this training with them. So I'm seeing a lot of people coming on now. So thank you so much for being here. What we're talking about today is Canva. How many of you, show of hands, used Canva currently? Okay, so today we're gonna, so there's a lot of hands that did not come up, some hands that did not come up. Here's the thing, I believe that Canva's amazing. It's just like any platform. There's a free version, and then you can always upgrade to unlock more features. I happen to use and love the pro version of Canva, which is, I think it's $119 US per year. Trust me when I say it does not owe me anything. I have created so many things in Canva. Canva has also become a topic for videos that I have published and produced on my YouTube channel from a content perspective. That's how much I love it. I think it's essential. I really believe it is an essential tool. And you should, if you're not already using it, get the free version. Get in there and start using this, because what this does is it takes it can take your imagery and your graphics for social media to the next level, because they're already pre-designed. I don't know about you, but I'm not a graphic designer. I think I have a good eye. I think I'm good at being able to see and kind of instinctually look at things and go, oh, that looks good, or that doesn't look good. But I don't know enough about graphics and the theory behind, white space and, what's that called? Like spacing and, all the things that kind of go into graphics. So that's why I love this platform, and that's what we're diving into today. Before we get started, how many of you, with a show of hands on the screen, already use visual aids to teach what you teach? How many, with a show of hands, use visual aids? Okay, great. Great. So what this might do is just introduce you to a new way of doing it. How a lot of people get their visual aids created, and you can absolutely do this, is to hire someone to do them for you. You know, I think of Upwork would be a great place to find freelancers, graphic artists. They all do amazing work. But if you're going solo and you're kind of bootstrapping it at this point, Canva might be a really good solution to get you, going in that direction. So let me share my screen with you and make sure I've got the proper thing set up in the background here first. Yes. Okay. So let me share my screen with you. Just a quick reminder, and to those of you who participated in the Cashing on Camera workshop this past Monday, thank you. Thank you for coming. I've been getting so many wonderful responses from you and feedback that you absolutely love the training. And I really appreciate you coming and spending the day with me. The next Cash In on Camera workshop is set for October the 6th. October the 6th. And I have yet to update the page, but if you go to cashinoncamera.com, you can secure your ticket for the event. It might have the date from Monday still on there. For those of you who've already purchased tickets, just text me, no problem. We can transfer your ticket to the next one. We're totally open about that, but certainly think about blocking that off. October 6th is when we're going to be doing our next one, and I'll be teaching my 3E outline and the 4P framework, and I'll be teaching all of the strategies that you need in order to turn your online authority into growing your business on offline authority to growing your business online with video. So let's get started. Please post chat comments or questions in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, post them in the comments. And if you're watching on Periscope, show of tap the screen, show of hearts. Okay. So let's go in here. All right. So here's the thing about, and I would ask you to mute yourself if you are watching, if you're here watching on Zoom right now, if you would mute so that the background noise is minimized. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So here's the thing. I made a list. I thought, well, visual aids, I'm at a point, I feel like, even in my own business, where visual aids are becoming more important. And I've been integrating them more so this calendar year than probably any other calendar year, prior. And it's been, it really has taken things to the next level. I think of things like graphs and checklists and charts, and there are a bunch of different visual aids that we can utilize, like infographics, for example. The beautiful thing about Canva is that if I type these words into the search, chances are pretty high I'm going to find an already pre-designed template for that thing. So let's do it together. You excited? Let's go in and just start typing in a few different things. Like I was looking at the one I thought was interesting was pie chart. And Maura, you mentioned this off the top before we got started on the live today, that you had a bunch of different slides in your presentation. If you want to unmute yourself, please contribute to the conversation. But you had a bunch of different slides on a presentation, and then you went, well, wait a minute, and you've been playing in Canva and recognized that, gee, I could just put these all on a pie chart and save myself time, make it more simple for my audience to understand, which is great. So if I go in here, I'm just typing in pie chart, and we can see, like here, let's just say, it's interesting. It's funny. I'm typing in pie chart, but yet I'm seeing other templated graphics that are equally as interesting. Let's say this one. This is interesting. Look at this. I blue and white arrow chart presentation. There are 10 different ones that all look that are seamlessly designed to go with one another in terms of design, in terms of the color. So think about that. Now, I just put in one word to search this, and I found 10 different visual aids, visual elements that I could customize to my own brand colors and make them my own. So I'm thinking about, for example, and for those of you who were at the workshop on Monday, I teach this thing called the 4P framework. And if I wanted to create a visual aid, and maybe I will, now that I'm in here, I'm like, this actually looks a lot better than what I'm already using because I didn't use a template. I might just say, you know what, let's get rid of this one because my framework is 4 4 sections, not 5. And then I might redistribute this so that it's, you know, evenly in proportion. You know, let's move this down a little bit here. In fact, one thing I can do is I can go like this and I can group. Let me see if I can do this properly. So I'm just going to group this together. And now I can just move this entirely over here. And I can do the same thing with this one. So let me see, group. Okay, so here we go. Now all of a sudden I can just search, you know, move these things over, and I'm not going to bore you with all of this, but you can see now that I can customize this. It looks like this needs to be moved over. I can now customize this to the name of my framework, to the colors that I want. You know, I can go in here and pick my purple, pick my gold, you know, pick my gray, and then pick, let's say black, you know. So now all of a sudden it's branded to my colors. I can also choose, for those of you who are new to Canva, I'm just going a little bit deeper than for those of you who've already used this tool. But you can see here now, it's starting very, very simply looking a lot more like my brand. And I can just continue this process right through. So the great thing is now I can say, okay, that's one visual aid. And now I can say, let's add a page, a blank page. And now I'm going to create this. Maybe I'll use this one, and I can do the same thing. But I'm in this one project are all of these different elements that I can now build. So that was just kind of interesting how we'd found that just by searching pie chart. If I go to, here's one of my favorites. I like this. I like it when we, pyramids. So let's just say something like, let me add a page here. I like this, you know, these pyramids. So let's say you are teaching, I don't know what, you know, this one's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but you know, you could take this as a jumping off point and create something that is customized to your methodology, your system, you know, customize all these colors, customize the names. You know, there's a lot that you can do with this. Let's go into another one. Let's just look for, I think progress chart. I want to see what comes up when I do progress chart. It's still this one. Now, these are all the templated ones. Oh, this is an interesting one. What if I go here, go here? Let's bring in, ooh, I like that, you know. So would this be an opportunity for you to customize something? You know, this is SWOT analysis, but you could use this template to customize to whatever it is that you want to do. Progress chart, reports. Let's see, what was it? Oh, I mean, this is a good one, you know, just a list. And now the only thing is with list, it's probably not going to give us as many templated options unless we resize it. So let's resize to let's look for Pinterest, actually. Pinterest pin. Oh, let's try this and see what comes up, because you can resize things within the tool. Oh no, I think I'm going to have to look for info. Oh, there it did. Okay, cool. So I wonder now if I put in, what was that one? List that I just did, list. Let's see what comes up. Different templates come up when I put list. Let's say it's this one. Now, could you essentially, let me make this a little bigger, we can see it. Could you customize this, you know, to whatever theme color that you want? If you need a visual element that is in this aspect ratio. So I'm trying to present just some ideas for how you might utilize Canva. In fact, let's go infographic. Infographic should bring us, like, this is a really nice one here, right? Let's take this one, you know, here, you know. Now, you might look at this and go, yeah, but that kind of looks a little elementary, Cheryl. Okay, true. That font might not be the right choice for you. But if I were to choose this one, now all of a sudden, really the the feeling that it evokes is it's much more professional than this one. And so these are just design elements that you want to kind of keep in mind as you're creating these things. So let me just stop the share for a moment and open this up to you for questions. And I'm going to look into the chat.
Just one word. Wow.
There's a lot you can do. And it's funny because this topic came about as a result of you asking for this last week on last week's free live training. And I thought, how do I want to broach this? How do I want to teach some elements of this? Because really I could do a whole day on just Canva, and there are courses that are devoted to just this, but I want you to think about this. And this is where we tie it back into what I do, because I do video. And when you are, let's say, using Canva and you're creating these visual elements to teach, if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a speaker, you're an author, you're really my audience, and you're looking to build your business online and be positioned as an authority, resource expert or leader in your space, you're doing a lot of teaching. And visual aids are a great way to visually teach a theory or an idea or a new way of thinking to your audience, and because they see what it is that you're, spelling out for them. But from a video perspective, what's interesting and exciting is that if you create a visual aid, you can now save that image to your computer and use that inside a video project as an element to the production of your video. So if I, let's say, create a Venn diagram. Do you know what a Venn diagram is? The
No.
Venn diagram, I'll show you. The Venn diagram is when you have, in fact, that was one I didn't look up.
While you're looking it up, Cheryl, so when
Yes.
you're talking about being able to embed it with the videos, what I want to design, and I know Canva, maybe a starting point, is an intro and outro visual, which with a voiceover perhaps.
Yeah, you could do that. Mm-hmm. Now, it would be interesting to look into, because there's a video that I did. Let me just finish this thought, and I will get back to that. I think that's really interesting. It's maybe a more advanced way of using it, but I like it. Venn diagram. It's not really. Let's resize this.
I've never even heard of a Venn diagram.
Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. This is a presentation. Let's just move it. I'm just going to resize the canvas here. And I bet that if I put Venn diagram in here again, well, there we go. So let's just try a new page down here so I can show you. There's one that's a kind of square. Venn diagram. Let's go here into elements. So far I've been looking under templates. But if you don't find what you're looking for, one thing I like to do is go into elements, and sometimes you can find some interesting things here. Now, there we go. So these are Venn diagrams. They're when the circles or the elements that cross over into each other to demonstrate a point. So for example, with my ACE model, I used a Venn diagram because I have 3 pieces to my ACE model, ACE. And I used a Venn diagram to visually describe and explain what that is. Venn diagrams here with 2 circles, 3 circles. Some of them are 4, like you could even probably find some that have, here's one with a lot, 5 of them here. It's a way of visually describing some type of, again, methodology that you've developed in your coaching. But this is not necessarily a templated graphic yet. What this is an element within the graphic. So it can be interesting. Let's say you decide that you want to use like this one. Now, what you can do, and this is what I did for mine, is I just designed around it and I added my own text. I added, so I could go like this and I could say, okay, I want to add my own heading. I want to put my website URL at the bottom in case someone were to find this diagram down the line, they'll know who it was attributed to and come back and find me online. So you can start designing this and changing the colors as you see fit to your brand colors. So this is more of a starting from scratch type of approach, whereas these templated ones are, oh, here's a good one. So there's one right there. You know, this is more of a templated approach where it's already done for you and you can customize it. But this right here is the Venn diagram. So to your point, Maura, is you could take elements that you've created in Canva and you could download them. You could, in some cases, animate them even within Canva. And I did a video on YouTube about that. It's called Canva Animations. You can simply Google it. It'll show you how to create animated social media graphics with Canva. So you could get fancy here. You could take something like that. You could add a voiceover on top of that using an app like Video Shop or InShot, which are two of my favorites.
Can it be done in PowerPoint?
Well, I think the voiceover part, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't use PowerPoint, but even in Keynote, no. I think you could do it. You'd need to edit the video. That's the key if you want to create an intro or an extra. So I think you'd have to use it, use like Camtasia on your, or a desktop editor, bring in the images, and then add the layer of voice on top of it, and then create the project as your intro. But let's say you are creating, so you create these visual elements and you create a visual aid and you're like, okay, this looks great. You could just go out, you could use that in a presentation. You could talk about it. Of course, it's a visual aid, you want to use it. So if you're doing your own training, you're like I am today, you could use your visual aids to show on the screen to teach. But if you're creating a video, you could bring that image in to the video project. And as you're speaking, you could bring that up over top of what you're saying so that people see the image while you're speaking about that. So I just want you to know and think about these visual aids as being, and how they would work into the production of your videos. That is definitely a way that you can use them. So let's just go up. Can you put it in? So I will put a link to Restream here, copy link. I'm putting this in the chat on Zoom. I will come back into Facebook and put it in the comments afterwards. So if you're interested in knowing about Restream and getting a discount on that service, then click on the link in the chat that I've just added. Okay. So yeah, Doug, you know, I know of StreamYard. I've actually been interviewed by other people who use StreamYard. Restream.io, I love the interface of it. I think that's the thing that I'm loving, maybe a little bit more than StreamYard in that sense. There's a live studio component in Restream, and just like how it's laid out. And that's often what, for me, is the deciding factor, whether I like this tool over that tool. I like things that are easy to use and easy to navigate. I don't want there to be any questions. I don't want it to be confusing. I want it to be simple and well laid out for me. And I find that Restream is that for me, but it does everything you need. Shannon says I was joined. Okay. Were you saying you can message for more information? Yes. And you know what, Shannon, it's interesting because I feel like I may in fact do a whole training on restreaming. This concept of restreaming is very intriguing to me. Obviously, I'm using it now to go to multiple platforms at the same time, which increases your reach and gets your message out to more people live and in person. So it's a very powerful tool. And I'm thinking of, and if you're interested, just send me a DM, just give me a thumbs up, or if you're interested, and I can even just like jot you down on a list somewhere, see if there's a bunch of people who'd like to learn how to do that. And then I might even do a training on it. Paul, love Canva, new things to learn daily. You got it, buddy. That's right. Paul says, hi from San Diego. Dr. Kaz, can you make it perfectly spaced without doing it by look? Not sure what you mean, Kaz. Do you mean like when you're designing it? Yes, there are guides on the graphic that allow you to space things out properly, even letters. So if you put your letters, it's better to demonstrate than it is to explain. Let me show you. So if I'm over here, let's say let's just say this, for example, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. But what I can do with this is I can go to the spacing feature and I can make this tighter or looser, or I can even space out the letters more, you know, so there's different options that you can do within the tool. Yes. Okay. Brenda, you were not seeing it. I'm not sure why. Okay. What kind of stuff does the pro version do that the free version does not? So, Bonita, I have had the pro version for so long, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that with the pro version, I'm able to have I'm able to create a brand kit, and I'll show you what I mean. Over here, I have this thing called, let's see here, under more. Where is it now? Oh no, I got to go home. Hang on. So go to home. Okay. So in the pro version, I have a thing called brand kit, which allows me to bring in logos. I'm able to upload my own font. I'm able to create palettes. So this is my palette and these are client palettes. So if we're creating and designing things for other people, then, you know, we would be able to just create, you can create as many palettes as you want. So it just allows you to keep everything nice and streamlined and all in one place, which is really a nice feature. Mm-hmm. There's also this thing called Content Planner. I think this is also a pro version thing, and it allows you to plan out your content calendar. So I could go here and say, oh, I want to schedule my this design for whatever day. Let's see, choose a destination. I'm going to say I want this to go on my Facebook, and it's going to go out tomorrow at 4:30. So it's done. So now that will post automatically to my Facebook, that destination at that time in Content Planner. It's pretty awesome. So now you're eliminating the need for other tools. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a huge fan of that. Okay. What kind of stuff does a pro version do? And listen, Bonita, the truth is you could contact Canva. They would be happy to tell you, you know, what you get with the pro version. I've had it for so long that all these things that I have access to are very normal to me. I'm not entirely sure what is involved in the free thing. Let's just talk about free versus paid for a moment. Anytime that I find a tool that I love and I'm like, this is awesome, I immediately go to the pro version. I don't even give it a second thought. I just go, it's $120 a year. A year. I'm like, that's well worth it. Same with video editing apps. With InShot, immediately, I'm like, this is amazing. This works for me, pro version. I don't want to see ads. It's worth the, I don't even know, $32 a year you pay for these tools. So if you start, you know, really thinking about and questioning, especially tools that allow you to eliminate other things, that's when it gets interesting for me. Canva is one of those tools. And I don't want this to sound like a pitch fest. That's not my, use whatever tool works for you. PicMonkey was one of the first ones I started using. But when I graduated to Canva, I got rid of PicMonkey. I was like, no, I can be streamlined and use this one thing for everything I need. And they keep adding different features, which I love. Doug says the pro version is offered free to educational and nonprofit people. I did not know that. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Bonita, the Venn diagram might be in the free version. You'd have to check that. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So those are the questions. I can't see the questions you're asking in the comments on the Facebook page or group right now, but I will be coming back in and sharing these links and answering your questions there as well. So let me, for those of you who are watching Zoom right now, and if you're watching Periscope, you're watching me on YouTube right now, my first restream to YouTube, which is exciting. If you're watching on YouTube, if you are Periscope or on Facebook and you want to be here, then just, you know, contact me and I'm happy to send you a link and get you set up with that. Okay, what questions do you have? Let me answer as many questions as I can possibly manage in the next, let's say 10-ish minutes. Are you like, show of hands, are you did you enjoy seeing that tutorial of what you can do with this? Okay, good. All right. So who has questions? Post your questions. You can just put your hand up on the screen if you have a question to unmute yourself. Brenda, you said you have a thumbs up. Is that a question that you have? Or are you just digging this? Brenda, are you able to unmute yourself? Go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to remind everybody, I'm looking at the Canva, that you can try the pro version actually for 30 days. So the secret to that is with many of these pro things is accumulate a whole lot of things. And then you have like a 3-day Canva adventure where you create everything and that, because as many of us do, we try out things for 30 days and then we really use them for the last 5 days and wonder, what does it all do? So
yeah,
accumulate and then have fun, but devote 2 or 3 days to Canva straight and create a whole bunch of things. That's what I did for, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because there's a lot that you can do. And it's the kind of thing here. I'm just putting a couple of links. So I'm putting try Canva, try restream.io, putting those links for you in the chat on Zoom. StreamYard. Okay. So just FYI, StreamYard feeds you all of the chat comments back to your control panel. Oh yes, Doug. The thing is, I'm actually doing this through Zoom today. So yes, with Restream, and I may even graduate this into using the live studio through, I'm not using it through Restream right now today because it was too much to have to redirect you all to a new URL. So I was thinking, I'm like, why don't I continue to do it on Zoom, but I'll use Restream to get it out to more platforms. Yes, but yes, you're right. On Restream, on StreamYard and those platforms, if you use and you originate your broadcast through their platform, that opens up a whole world of possibility in terms of the graphics and seeing the comments coming in from all the different feeds. And I may even be getting into that in the next few weeks, but right now for today, it was just not possible. So great point. How many of you would like to see a training or a video on how I did this today? How I got this Zoom meeting out on 4 other platforms at the same time? I see a few of you, so not all of you. So some of you are like, yeah, I'm not interested at all. Okay. But here's the thing. It's quite powerful, Yes. Okay. Deb says yes. And Deb, excited to work with you, by the way. So let's see. Susan, you have a question? Come on and ask. Go ahead. Can you still get a transcription? How about using Kajabi for next week? Let me get back to you, Julia. I'm not sure that was okay. Can you still get a transcript from Zoom if you originate in Can you still get a transcript from Zoom if you originate in, you mean Restream or StreamYard? It depends. There's a thing called live transcription from Rev, and you can get that set up. That's where I would probably get the transcriptions from. Doug, always looking to learn about new ideas and ways to do things. Awesome. Okay, cool. Sorry, I meant to ask everyone if they wanted to learn about Kajabi next. Oh, I see the topic for next week. Yeah, you know what? That is a great question. What would you like to learn about next week? Let's do a little. I think I can even do a poll here. Woo! Let me get fancy here. Let's get fancy, and let me ask this question. Next week's topic. And then you guys will vote. Next week's topic, I'm doing this really fast here. Answer 1, multi-streaming or Kajabi. Let's see, single choice, save. Let's see if this comes up. Poll, launch the poll. Okay. So the poll, you should be seeing the poll now. So just answer. Reading your comments here too. Sorry, I meant to ask him one. I get Zoom transcriptions via my account through Be Connected multi-streaming. I thought, yeah, Susan, I think, you might be right. We did do some Kajabi stuff already. We did. Okay, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. So we need a tiebreaker. We need a tiebreaker. Oh, wait, multi-streaming starting, 62% for multi-streaming. Okay, do both, Paul says. This is fun. All right. So 62% multi-streaming. So, and we have done some Kajabi stuff already. Keep in mind, thank you for participating in the poll, by the way. Keep in mind that because you're part of this community, having registered for this, if you're watching on Zoom, you have access to all of the replays of all the trainings that I've been doing, right? So you can always go back and watch the things that we did on Kajabi and a variety of other topics. So why don't we let's do multi-streaming, since it's very topical and relevant to me and my world right now, since I'm starting this exciting partnership with Restream.io, who reached out to me, and I'm excited to do that. So I'm happy to do that. Yeah, that's a good point, Paul. You can't be tied. There are 15 of us. That's good. I love that. So I hope that this opened your eyes to a few things that you could do if you decide to. And listen, I mean, if you choose to use a different tool than Canva, likely, if it's got templated graphics, maybe you could still create your visual aids there. The important thing is the power of visual aids can be really helping you in doing the teaching and the coaching and the mentoring and the consulting that you're doing in your business in and of itself. But it can also play into the production of videos, which, as we know, is paramount to getting your message out to exponentially more people. And that's what I think is exciting about that, using these visual aids to support your teaching offline and also to support it online from a content perspective as elements within the production. So there's really, it's really a win-win type of situation. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Can I ask you a question, Cheryl?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I just received a message from somebody who's listening in the Facebook Live.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
If you can let them know how exactly to reach out to you to get the Zoom link for next time.
Perfect. Thank you, Kathleen. I will go back into the group right after this broadcast and do that. I'll put in contact information and all that for sure. Thank you so much for having an eye out for me. Appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you. So I see some new faces here today too, who I've not seen in the last few weeks. So welcome to those of you who are new as well. My name is Cheryl Plouffe. I'm a video strategist, and I'm really here to help you as an offline authority build your business online with video. So please connect with me, come back to the trainings, be sure to watch the replays. I'm here to support you. The video that I'm producing for tomorrow on my YouTube channel is going to be about how I did this today. How did I get this Zoom meeting out to 4 other platforms at the same time? Yay. And can't wait to see you there as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in next week's training. Cheers. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.